The Chicago Cubs are one of those teams that had a really big 2021 MLB trade deadline. Definitely, that didn't favor them. They sold basically every player they had, and they look like a Double-A team for basically half of the year last year. So in today's video, we're going to look at what's next for the Chicago Cubs. There's a lockout right now, and there's still quite a bit of the offseason left right now, and we're going to do what's next for the Chicago Cubs in today's video. But before I get to this video, if you want great baseball content throughout the lockout and the offseason, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn notifications, and leave a like on this video. And let's go ahead and get into this video. So, like I said, what's next for the Chicago Cubs? Free agents that they signed pre-lockout were Clint Frazier, Marcus Stroman, Yan Gomes, and Michael Hermosillo. Clint Frazier's a good pickup for 1 year. I think that he could really turn into something. A lot of executives are thinking that he is actually one of the most low risk, high reward type of free agents that there were this offseason, and the Cubs got him on a 1 year deal. They signed Stroman to a big 3 year, $71 million deal, which is a pretty good signing. He's going to be that ace of that rotation for the 3 years that he's going to be there, most likely. Yan Gomes is an interesting signing, not one that I particularly like too much. It just didn't make a lot of sense unless you're going to trade Willson Contreras, which it looked like could happen with what Willson Contreras said. It looks like that Yan Gomes could be the starting catcher, especially if they do end up trading Willson Contreras, which looks kind of likely. And also Michael Hermosillo, which is not a big signing at all. Nobody really cares. Next up, they're all free agents. They don't have really any important of their own free agents. Matt Duffy, I think they should bring back whether he's a bench bat or they're starting whatever next year. I think that Matt Duffy would be a good guy to bring back. He's versatile in the infield and could be a pretty good bat off the bench after having a good 2021. Jason Adam and Zach Davies are probably the most two important free agents besides that, and they both could walk. There's no reason to bring them back. Zach Davies would be, I guess, a solid number 5 starter, but I think there's better out there that you could get once the lockout's over. Needs this offseason, there's quite a few needs for a team as bad as the Cubs are. You need outfielders, a starter, relief pitching, and a shortstop. Outfielders definitely could use some in center and right. Ortega, maybe you give him a chance, but definitely could use a right fielder because Jason Hayward's just not getting it done. Obviously, they're wanting to look to trade Jason Hayward. There's no reason to have him on that team with such a bad contract. A starter, that would be a great move to get them a number. I mean, it could be a number 3 through 5 starter. I don't think it probably needs to be somebody like Rodon or something. And realistically, I just don't think that's going to happen. Relief pitching, they definitely need a lot of that. Rowan Wick and Cody Hoyer are kind of their top relief pitchers right now. They definitely could use some relief pitching and a lot of it. And a shortstop question mark. There's been some rumors about them being interested in Carlos Correa, Trevor Story. Marcus Stroman's already tried to recruit Carlos Correa to this team. So let's go ahead and go to next the Cubs free agent targets this offseason. First one, Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd was a guy that was not tendered by the Detroit Tigers, but I think this would be a very good move. Bringing Matthew Boyd in, I think, would be a solid move. He could be a number 3 through 5 in this rotation, and I think this would be a very good move to bring somebody like Matthew Boyd in. I think it would make a lot of sense to bring him in. Next one is an overseas player in Seiya Suzuki. Suzuki would be a great fit. You could play right field, which is something that they need very desperately. And he's coming over, and they could give him a chance. The Cubs aren't going to be competing in 2022. I don't think for sure they're not. Next one is the biggest free agent on the market. That's Carlos Correa. I think they should try to target Correa. He had 26 home runs, 92 RBIs, and a 279 batting average with a 366 on base percentage, a 485 slugging in 2021 with Houston. The main thing is he's got to stay healthy, and he's the best free agent on the market. So if they could get Carlos Correa and Marcus Stroman in the same offseason, that would be a really big dub for this team to get him. And of course, you have of course, Horner. That's the projected shortstop as of right now. But you can make room inside somebody like this. The next move, I think, is an under-radar possible move for them. That's Michael Conforto. I think Conforto would be a great move. Conforto has been known for his high average in the past and getting on base a lot. He didn't do that in 2021, though, posting a 232 batting average with 14 home runs, 55 RBIs, 344 on base, and a 384 slugging. In 2020, he posted a 322 batting average, though. We know that this is a guy that's going to get on base a lot, hit for a high average. He's proven that in New York, and I think he's going to get a pretty big deal. Like I said, they could slot him in right field, too. And he would be close to the top of that order, probably. And who knows if that'll be a bigger deal or if he's going to want to take a couple-year prove-it deal. Next one is Yusei Kikuchi, another player that was originally from the Nippon Professional League in Japan. 7-9 with a 4.41 ERA in 2021. He was really good in the first half and then absolutely fell off in the second half. Maybe that's because of the sticky stuff. Kikuchi's definitely a guy you could take a chance on. Could be the 3-3-5 in this rotation. I personally would go more for Boyd. He's proven a lot more in the past. And he's had both 5 ERA seasons in 2020 and 2019. He's not been very good at all, to be honest, but maybe they can bring him in and he can do something. The final guy is the bullpen arm that the Braves actually non-tendered, and that's Richard Rodriguez. I was definitely confused when they did because he posted a 5-4 record with a 2.94 ERA in 2021. He posted a really good season, and the Braves just didn't even bring him back. It didn't seem like they had too much interest in him when they even got him, but Richard Rodriguez, I think, would be a good idea for this team. Next up, the Cubs trade targets. They could bring in a few guys here. First was Merrill Kelly. I think this is a guy with high upside. I think that they could look for the high upside with Merrill Kelly, not have to give a lot back for him, and they would probably be pretty interested in this trade. Kelly had an over 4 ERA with the D-backs back in 2021, and he had a 7-11 record with a 4.44 ERA for a very bad team in the Diamondbacks. Next was Kyle Freeland. I think Freeland could definitely prove something. He had a 7-8 record with a 4.33 ERA in 2021. He had a 4.33 ERA in 2020 as well. He had a really bad 2019, posting over 6 ERA, but he posted a 2.85 ERA in 2018. And he's only going to get better away from Coors. I think you take the chance on Kyle Freeland. I think it would be a really good move. Next up's Whit Merrifield. Merrifield is a guy that's been rumored to the Cubs for a while. They could definitely use him whether they play him in center, right, or second. He just fits a lot of holes there, and I think Whit Merrifield would be a very good guy. He doesn't fit the timeline, of course, of the Royals. I think it would be a very good move. Next one's Tanner Scott of the Orioles. Not a great move, but I mean, it still works. It serves as a bullpen arm there. And the final one's bringing back Craig Kimbrell. As dumb as this sounds after just letting him go for half a season, maybe they bring back Craig Kimbrell. I doubt it. But he is the best person to bring back. I think he's the best idea to bring back for as far as relief pitching. He's the best out there right now. And the final bag, Whit Merrifield to the Cubs mock trade. The Cubs in this trade would receive Whit Merrifield and Scott Barlow, a bullpen arm, and Whit Merrifield. The Royals would receive Christian Hernandez, a shortstop, the Cubs' number 3 prospect in return. Jason Hayward, they have to get on that contract. Owen Cassidy, an outfielder, the Cubs' number 9 prospect, and Riley Thompson, a right-hander, the Cubs' number 28 prospect. This is a move for the Cubs. You get Scott Barlow, who's a very good reliever. You get Whit Merrifield as well, and you also get off the contract of Jason Hayward. It's a win all the way. Whit Merrifield is getting older, and the Royals just aren't going to be competing, and they need to let him go. They get a very good package back, getting Christian Hernandez back, who's not really close to being ready. Jason Hayward, I mean, it's a bad contract, but that's what you get with all these good prospects back. Owen Cassidy's an outfielder, the Cubs' number 9 prospect. I think he could be very solid in the majors, and Riley Thompson's a right-hander. Cubs number 28 prospect. They get younger in this trade as well. They don't have Whit Merrifield and, of course, Scott Barlow anymore. But I think that this is a very good trade for both sides. I think it would make a lot of sense for the Cubs and the Royals. Getting for the Royals, I mean, Whit Merrifield, no. I mean, he's just not part of your future realistically. And I think it's a very good package for both sides. Merrifield had a good 2021 in all-base machine. And yeah, that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications because there's going to be great baseball content even with a lockout on this channel. So, like I said, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications. Thank you for watching.